they've only gone and bloody done it again. Arne Slot's Reds have only gone and bloody done it again with one of the performances of the season. I mean, what a performance. I'm going to be talking about Liverpool's 4-0 victory against Spurs to book their spot in the League Cup, sounds more prestigious, final. I mean, let's face it, it was an absolute demolition job from minute 1 to minute 90. Every single player had a good game. Here's what a privilege it is being a Liverpool fan at the minute, is that I've been looking forward to this game all week, as I'm sure you were too. Added extra by the fact that we're a goal down. I'm not like, oh, we're a goal down, are we going to do it? It was just like, we're a goal down, so we're gonna fucking have it. All right, so let's start with Van Dijk, because he got the game off to such a great start. Absolutely mugging off Richarlison. Now, the mug. There has been okay. There was a mugging of biblical proportions going on at Anfield last night. First, absolutely smashes into Richarlison within the first 2 minutes. A little bit of a how are you? So he smashes into him, right? So that's great. Then when Richarlison's down about 10 minutes later, you think, all right, let's just get on with the game. Like, Van Dijk puts his hand out. Richarlison goes to take it. Van Dijk's like, psych. So at this stage, I mean, the mugging is at critical level. And then you have Richarlison going off injured to the delight of Anfield. And then Van Dijk gets a goal. Something Richarlison hasn't done in years. Anyway, I'm getting ahead of myself. Let's talk about the first half. So we go 1-0 up, thanks to Big Gak. And before this, Mo had missed a few, or he did a few things where you're like, I literally have a note here that just says, Mo. I'm like, what? Like, what is he doing? And when it came to Big Gak's goal, Salah had just done something very un-Salah-like a minute or two before. The look of intensity on his face was like, okay, I'm not going to fuck this one up. Gives his Travella pass, goes through a few players. And, I mean, the technique from Big Gak here, where he doesn't even adjust himself. He's still standing in the one spot. Rarely seen a goal like it. His non-kicking leg is absolutely planted. And he just has to get all the power in the shot from a standing position by swinging a leg. Oh my God. Fucking Big Gak, man. Who else? To get his 10th goal in 10 games at Anfield.
That's insane.
So let's break down the goal on the patented fucking yes scale. You've got Salah with the assist, goes through a few players, Big Gak standing there, camera right behind the ball as it goes in, and it was coming. It was coming. Everyone knew it. Fucking yes scale, that's an 8. And if you missed it, here is a representation of what actually happened.
God's name, can that human being be from this planet?
And then it was fucking on. I mean, it was one of those games where I'm like, oh, we're winning the ball back every 2 minutes here. You know, like Spurs could not. I mean, it was such a mismatch where I'm like, how do we ever lose 1-0 to this team? It was such a mismatch. And Van Dijk, I mean, I seen Carragher talking about it after the match, saying like he's almost too good for the highest level. And like, it's true. He plays, him and Kanate actually. I mean, Kanate to a lesser extent, but Kanate very much does what he wants and there's nothing you can do about it. Van Dijk is the same, whereas Van Dijk, without sprinting, without slide tackling, he's somehow head and shoulders above every other defender possibly that's ever existed. And in fact, our entire defence was phenomenal. Robbo played great. Kanate and Van Dijk obviously were immense. Conor Bradley. I mean, I'll talk about him more in a bit more detail later as he was involved in some of the goals. But Jesus Christ. There was a moment in that first half where Salah lost the ball. He was having a bit of an off night for him. Yet still registers a goal and an assist. But there was a moment where Salah lost the ball, and Bradley, just like he did against Mbappe, goes through the player, wins the ball, keeps it in, wins it back, and wins a corner. And the crowd just go mental. I'm like, fucking Conor Bradley, man. I have a note here that I took during the match. We had about 57 corners during that first half. Genuine question, are we the worst corner kick takers in the league? Or the worst corner kick converters? I mean, if you take out the fourth goal, which we very much scored directly from a corner, maybe should we just get McAllister on all the corners? I feel more confident when we concede a corner that we're going to score than when we actually get a corner. We're like, okay, we'll win it back and hit him on the break. And by the way, speaking of corners, how good is Nunez on corners? Defending corners, not not scoring from corners. He's phenomenal. And in fact, let's just cut the shit and talk about Nunez now for a sec. Darwin Nunez update. Beep, 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 beep. He was absolutely quality. His all-round game yesterday was so good. So good. Whether it's helping out defending corners, like winning balls back, playing people in, winning the penalty for Salah, which we'll talk about in a sec. He had such a great game. I was so happy. It was almost like Nunez played like Salah and Salah played like Nunez in this game. But the pass from Salah to Nunez, who, like, again, I'm like, no, it's, keeper's getting that. But Nunez just gets there all day, a penalty. And Salah, with this one, this is arguably Salah's best penalty. I'm watching it, and like for the first split second after he kicks it, I'm like, oh, it's over, I'm wide. And then I'm like to myself, you stupid son of a bitch. Couldn't have been more top corner. You don't save those. That replay right behind him where it's just, it couldn't be more top corner. Again, going for power and placement. You've got Nunez winning it. That counts as an assist in my book. Then Salah taking his time for him to give me the old switcheroo where I'm like, oh, it's out. No, it's in. And what a goal as well, by the way. He's adding to his record. That puts us ahead in the game, which we knew we were going to be. It was just inevitable. Cop end, under the lights, Thursday night for some reason. Fucking yes. That's an 8. And if you missed it, here is a representation of said unbelievable penalty. If I can take a quick 15-second break, hat in hand, to ask you that if you haven't subscribed, to please subscribe. And if you want a bit of merch, Big Gak t-shirts available at the link below. There's also Darwin t-shirts, Jota t-shirts, Endo t-shirt, which is really the creme de la creme. And a bunch of crew drawings on mugs. Thank you so much to everyone who's bought something. I really, really appreciate it. And if you've already got one, or if you can't be arsed to buy anything, hey, don't worry, you can do me another solid. Just hit one of these buttons down here, except the dislike button. Anyway, back to the video. So then Nunez and Jones come off. McAllister and Jota come on. What a luxury when we're already up in the game. Nunez got a great ovation, which I was delighted about. McAllister comes on. Now, that leads us in very nicely to goal number 3. Now this goal. Delightfully devilish, Liverpool. This was a goal, I don't know about you, but you could see it happening when we had the ball in our own defensive area. You could just, as soon as McAllister turns and gets the ball, I think Robbo won it back well, McAllister has the ball, you just see at the bottom of your screen Connor Bradley busting a goal. I fucking love Connor Bradley, full stop, but I also love his run. I feel like even though he's not a huge lad, I feel like he could run through a wall. He's got that sort of, when he's running, he's got this kind of like hunched over sort of, I don't know what it is, but I wouldn't want to be in his way. But as soon as McAllister gets the ball, Bradley is bombing it. You know where you sometimes see a player make a run and you're like, oh, and sometimes they don't see him, you're like, okay. Whereas McAllister, not only does he see him, plays an absolutely inch-perfect pass without even thinking, just instinct, plays a first touch straight into Sabo. At that stage, I'm like, oh. As if the move couldn't get any beautiful. Now you got Sabo involved. He takes a touch and slots it right into the corner. Keeper doesn't get a touch. That was one of the slickest goals I think that we've scored this season. It was such a satisfying, but like when you're already going, oh. And I'll tell you what I appreciated about as well. Connor Bradley barely breaks his stride. Do you know what I mean? Like he's bombing it. He's still bombing it as he plays that one touch into Sabo. Sabo shoots and Connor Bradley's still running. And then just as it goes in, a cop end as well. Oh, son of a bitch. I fucking love Connor Bradley. Fucking yes scale. It's a 9. Unbelievable. I was so happy with that goal. And it was very much a, all right, yous fuck off now. Missed the goal? Fear not, because I got the crudest of crude drawings right here for you that sums it up in all its beauty. incredible. So that's very much game over. And then we get our, by my count, 84th corner of the game. First one with McAllister on it. It was McAllister, right? The ball comes in, Van Dijk. I mean, he's mugging off Richarlison, and Richarlison's long gone. How about this? It's called a goal. It's just he plays the game at his pace. Always looks just so fucking cool when he's playing. And anyway, to get this goal, you know, where you're waiting, that's all I'm ever waiting for with a corner. Like, I don't really know what happens when the ball goes into that general area. You're just waiting to see the ball pop back out towards the goal. And this time it finally did. Again, Cop end. I love that we scored 3 goals at the Cop. And he looked absolutely delighted as well. You and me both, Big V. Fucking yes scale, that's an 8. Then we bring on Elliott and Diaz. At that stage, Postecoglou's got to be like,
hey, bro, come on now, dog. Come on, man.
I mean, what a night. I mean, I don't like to bask in other clubs' misery, because I don't have any real problem with Spurs, you know what I mean? They paid the ultimate price for beating us in the first leg. This one makes me feel kind of bad, is that, like, this was Spurs' big, like, make or break the season sort of match, you know? Like, they're not winning anything else. They're like, okay, this is it. We could get a trophy to our name. So the fact that was everything for them, and, like, let's face it, this was our lowest rung. This is our lowest priority trophy, really. And still, I mean, the mugging is just unprecedented levels. It was like if you're a regular FIFA or FC20 whatever player. It's like playing someone who never plays. It was just do what we want. That's what it felt like. And as a slot special as well. Big Keeve with another clean sheet. All the defence. We really deserved a clean sheet. Keeve, to be honest, had nothing to do. He actually gave me a little call during the match, and I was chatting to him. Then you've got the Arne Slot chant at the end, which is very much the fans just being like, "We're fucking loving this, Arne." It was just one of those good nights, you know. No one got injured. We kept a clean sheet. We scored 4 goals. Everyone's singing. Just what a good night. Even when it was 0-0. I was sitting there like, this is great, isn't it? But even when it was 0-0 and we're just right outside their box the entire time, just like, oh, okay, oh, just never worried, just enjoying it, like enjoying the occasion, enjoying the novelty of the fact that we're playing. It's a semi-final on a Thursday night. I'm eating a pizza, watching the match. What more do you want, you know? So we have Plymouth on Sunday now, and then we have finally playing our game in hand on Wednesday against Everton. Let's just stay focused. I love how calm we are. You know what I mean? Even getting to the final, like, yeah, we were happy, but I just love how we're not like, yeah. We're just very much like, we're so fucking cool. Anyway, this was a bit of a all over the place show today, but I'm just excited. Enjoy basking in that result for the rest of the weekend until Sunday, until the next one, the next hit. If you don't mind, I'm going to go and watch that Szoboszlai goal again for the millionth time, and I mean, up the fucking Reds.